I tell you what, the young man I'm most impressed by, and for a long, long time, is Lance Stroll.
Lance, what do you mean for a long, long time? You never heard of him until today.
Yeah, I know I hadn't, but I mean, he's very
So
impressive.
how have you been impressed with him for a long, long time?
No, I said the young man with whom I've been most impressed than any other young man for a long, long time, if you've been listening.
Oh, I
right.
see. Oh, so your syntax has confused me.
It's Lance Stroll.
Okay.
And that's because Lance Stroll, a Canadian, hasn't even yet got a licence to drive a car on the roads of Canada.
Well, Max Verstappen was the same, wasn't he?
Max Verstappen was the same. But he's now been taken on to the number 2 driver for Williams.
That's right.
Which is one of the most successful Formula 1 teams over the years. I mean, I know they haven't won anything for a lot of years, but remember...
They haven't got the right engine, have they?
No, but under Frank Williams, they had brilliant drivers like Nigel, what's his name?
Mansell,
who won his first 5 Grand Prix in the season he won the World Championship, right? And they've had other great drivers. I think, didn't Alain Prost drive them?
I think he might have done.
Yeah, I think he did,
might have done.
And,
well, this guy's the first Canadian Formula 1 driver since Jacques Villeneuve.
Well,
which is quite a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time, because Jacques Villeneuve won the world title as well. I think, was that with Williams?
I don't know.
And then went off and started his own team, which bombed, and then sort of never drove again.
Sure.
But he did that in the shadow of his father, Gilles Villeneuve.
Did he?
Who was also a Canadian.
Well, he would have been.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Well, he was a Canadian, so his dad would have been a Canadian.
Yeah, that's true. And did Gilles Villeneuve win the World Championship as well?
I have no idea.
I think he might have done.
Why are you quizzing me on Formula 1?
I think he might have done. Well, I'm just saying that it's sensation, isn't it? Because...
Do you know his father, Lawrence Stroll, who's a Canadian billionaire businessman?
Yeah.
Do you know how he made his money?
Yeah, importing Pierre Cardin shirts into Canada.
That's right.
So, I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks Pierre Cardin's got a future. Apparently, he did the same with Tommy Hilfiger as well.
That's right, yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. But what I was going to say is that can you imagine the greatest sort of, to use an old-fashioned expression, the greatest bird-pulling
That's a shocking expression.
I know it is. It's an old-fashioned.
That's a shocking expression. I don't want to hear it.
I would never use it in modern life. But what I'm saying
is,
can you imagine you're 18, strolling to school one day, and somebody says, what's his name, Lance? Lance, can I see you this weekend? No, you can, my dear. Why not, Lance? I'm driving in the Canadian Grand Prix. Push up. Can you imagine that at the age of 18?
That's the way you would speak to people, isn't it?
Well,
push off.
Yeah.
Well, why would you invite her to the, to the party?
Well, because you'd have half a dozen women throwing themselves at you at the party already with long blonde hair.
I see.
And, enhanced bodies.
Now, there are those who say that this boy has only got the opportunity because of his dad's money.
Well, his dad has apparently put $30 million dollars into the racing team. But I think nepotism's a very good thing.
Do you?
I think if you
say...
Well,
you didn't benefit from it, did you?
No, never. My father never gave me a penny.
No. Well, is that why you like nepotism, then? Because you kind of envy people who can get it?
Not really. I think that if you're wealthy and you've got a lot of money and you're taking a risk on something, then if you don't know your own son and your own daughter, I mean, for instance, the Williams team that he signed up to is now run by Sir Frank Williams' daughter.
Yeah.
And that's nepotism, obviously.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But also she's very good at what she does.
Well, I mean,
so I think if you know your family and you trust them, I don't see any problem with that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as long as somebody is good at what they do, that's fine. But they don't start off being good at what they do, and as long as they do it the right way. I mean, this guy seems to have done it the right way because he's won loads and loads of races at the lower levels.
Well,
he won the Formula 3 championship,
and he's got the normal route. He started in karts, like Lewis Hamilton did.
And he says himself, I believe I earned my shot in Formula 1 because I've won every championship that I've competed in.
Exactly.
So that's fair enough, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. The other great nepotistic sporting family is old Eddie, the boxer.
Eddie?
Eddie
Hearn.
Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
Whose father, Barry Hearn. I mean, created the modern world of sports sponsorship and promotion. And his son took up the boxing side of it and has been amazingly successful at what he's done.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's another case of Barry Hearn saying, I know my boy better than anybody. I know he's up to it. He does it.
You now wish that you had a son to pass on all of your largesse and experience and business to?
Well, if I did, I would. I mean, for instance, so many people in our industry, in journalism and broadcasting and all that, get their kids in by ringing up their mates and saying, listen, can you give my boy a leg up or something like that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because the point is that, I mean, I've had it all my life. You know, I've been a senior executive in so many organisations. Somebody rings up and says, I say, I'll give him a chance. I said, but that's all I'm going to do. I said, he's not getting any special favours.
Yeah.
I said, but he comes through the door, he gets 6 weeks to prove himself. If my lieutenants then say this guy's got it, then he stays. If they say he's a juice head and can't do it, he goes. It's as simple as that.
Man, you're a tough man.
Yeah.
These are the rules under which Mr. Parry's lived his life for many, many years.
Well, do you remember the boy who went out with Theo Pavitas' daughter?
Oh, yeah.
And he got in here.
He was also the son of a guy who works at the Express, wasn't he?
He was the son of a guy who worked at the Express, who had newspaper connections, and we had some senior executives here who had ex-newspaper connections, giving them an allowance to whiten his teeth or something. And
I got it free with the Hertfordshire Bugle or whatever it was.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And
you've seen the time, by the way.
And the guy was hopeless. He was so hopeless. He once turned up at an event where Prince William was playing polo and told his security officer he was from, a radio station and he wanted to interview him. He thought that was initiative.
Oh, really?
He got arrested.
Did he?